So, welcome. My name is WriterMaven. I am the host of the Wrestling Receipts podcast. I talk all things Judgment Day, Dom, Liv, Raquel, Ben, JD, no more Colito, possibly Roxanne. Y'all, I think that we are officially in the Bonnie and Clyde era of the WWE because I was not expecting half of the shit that happened on Worlds Collide and Money in the Bank at all regarding Dom and Liv. So we got so much. I don't even know how to describe it. We just got so much with Dom and Liv. Like we got them as a strong unit together out without nobody else. They were supporting each other. They were vibing. Dom had the most awesome look during Worlds Collide and Money in the Bank. And I just have to say that my skin is moisturized, my crops are watered. I am just walking on air, and especially um, since my girl, my ride or die Naomi won Miss Money in the Bank. So y'all know I am on cloud nine. This is one of these rare PLEs where pretty much everything that you want to happen for your favorite wrestlers happen, and it happened with me with Naomi, Dom, and Liv. Those are my ride or dies. I am just like I said, I'm over the moon. But just to see, I don't want to take away Naomi's moment because I do want to talk about her, but just to see Dom and Liv just owning the place. You know, people always said, like, we always misuse the word aura. They had aura. That is Bonnie and Clyde. And they have gotten split reactions. And like I said, Don was going to get booed at World Collide. I was telling people this on the X, like, lucha crowds are different than WWE crowds. So while he might be appreciated in the WWE, lucha crowds are different because they have so much history and tradition regarding lucha libre, their mass, everything. Everything has a certain part. You have a role to play in lucha libre in Mexico. So when Dom comes down there insulting Rey Mysterio, you know, he's gonna get booed. And he got booed. So when it gets to Money in the Bank, he's gonna get cheered. But it's a nice, interesting dynamic with him. But I'm gonna get into that a little bit later. So yeah, I am just I am just over the moon. I mean, this was perfect. And like I said, I was not expecting half of the shit that went down. I was expecting it to go a certain way, and it still can go a certain way because Mystery Iguana, who I have just become a huge fan of, was still circling around Dom and Liv. So we still might get my prediction of Dom and Liv going for the AAA mixed tag team championships. I think the only reason now that La Hareja, Mystery Iguana's partner, wasn't there is because Stephanie Becker has a restraining order, I believe, on her. So she can't be around Stephanie, and Stephanie was at Money in the Bank. So she couldn't be there. So if that was the case, then it's just easier to have Mr. Iguana there, stoke up some stuff with Dom and Liv, and if they want to revisit the mixed tag team championships and Dom and Liv possibly going for it, then they can revisit that when Stephanie's not around and nobody has to violate a restraining order. But like I said, I'll get into that later. So let's start off with Worlds Collide. We had an awesome event. I am really surprised they put this on YouTube. I was really it was really great to see some really good wrestling. This was without a lot of the advertisements, just typical bullshit. Like it wasn't overly produced. You just had luchadors and luchadoras out there wrestling their ass off, and it was great. So the first match that started off the night was Octagon Jr., Mystery Iguana, and Aerial Star versus Dragon Lee, Licerado, and Del Toro. Um, we first see Dom and Liv at ringside, which is what I expected. I knew they were going to be around there somewhere. Um, and then we get the match. and we get all kinds of flippy lucha shit, like all over the place. Dragon Lee was showing out. Del Toro was showing out. Like, I want Del Toro to get a push. That man was twisting and spinning all over the place. I would not be surprised he gets a push out of this, or at least I hope he gets a push out of this, because Del Toro was working his ass off. Ariel Star I've missed because I did watch him in Lucha Underground, and if you do have access to Lucha Underground, he had a really nice storyline with who was that lizard guy? It wasn't Mr. Iguana. It was another dragon or lizard person. But he had a really good, nice storyline with that guy because he was his friend. Ariel Star is really, really good, and I was so happy to see him. And then Octagon Junior, and I think the reason why Dom and Octagon Junior first went at it is because there is history between Eddie Guerrero and Octagon. Like, I think that Octagon Junior is Octagon's father. You can't really be sure with Lucha Libre because everybody will name themselves something different, and they may not be like the actual blood relation to be called like Octagon Junior. But I think Octagon is um, Octagon Junior's father. So we do have that little bit of history with a recall of Eddie Guerrero versus Octagon. But like I said, it's just flippy lucha shit all over the place. I became a fan of Mr. Iguana. I liked how he incorporated, was it Yeshley? Um, with his with his wrestling, like, he has it down on point, and I love it when wrestlers commit to the bit. Like, if you're gonna be called Mr. Iguana, he committed to the bit. Like, he is full out iguana. And we had the hilarious bit of Lince Dorado giving the little pet iguana a standing Phoenix Splash. Oh no, was it a Phoenix Splash? Yeah, some one of those Phoenix moves. And of course the crowd boos because you just took out the poor iguana of Mr. Iguana. But like I said, it was an amazing match. It's on YouTube. It's free. Go watch it. You can watch it on the WWE's channel on YouTube, but go watch it. And then Octagon Junior gets the win on Lince Dorado. Um, and afterwards, this is where things really get interesting. We get Dom on the mic. Now, first of all, peep how Liv and Dom are really acting here, because as soon as Dom gets the mic, everybody was just pretty much after Dom, like booing him. He starts talking shit, talking about Rey Mysterio. He was talking to shit. Liv was being that really cocky girlfriend of his. And it's just a really nice attitude for Dom. Like, this isn't like chicken shit talking shit. This is like, I'm gonna back it up with my machismo type talking shit. And then Octagon Junior gets in his face, and then Dom pushes him, and then Octagon pulls him over the barrier, and the fight was on. What I loved about this brawl, y'all see how Dom took down Octagon Junior twice? There was no chicken shit Dom anywhere in this confrontation. It took referees and Mr. Iguana, Ariel Star, and some referees to pull apart Octagon Jr. and Dom. And then Liv was in there too. But she really didn't get involved too much. But Dom was taken to fight to Octagon Jr. I loved it. How long have we waited for a moment where Dom is just like, F this, and then I'm just gonna go out, and he's still maintaining like a really cheaty type heel type vibe, but he's bringing the heat to whoever he's fighting to. And then after the brawl, he gets on the mic and says, I'll see you at Money in the Bank to Octagon Jr., and I'm putting this on the line regarding his Intercontinental Championship. And then he and Liv walked off. And like I said, the whole thing was amazing. Like, we got a Dom that we have been waiting for. He got away from this being shy, like apologizing, like being behind people, and he stepped the fuck up. Like I couldn't be more prouder of Dom in that moment because, like I said, it's just something we've been waiting for. We knew he could do it, and he did it. Like, and that's all I could ask for. And he was allowed to bring machismo. He was allowed to be aggressive with other wrestlers. It wasn't like he was just standing there and taking a hit and then maybe doing another hit and then running off. He stood his ground, and it was great. And like Kenji is saying here, which I agree with, is that Dom did protect Liv. Like when Mr. Iguana and Octagon was going towards Liv, Dom wasn't having it. He was fighting them off. And then we did get the little bit funny bit. It's a blink and you missed it moment, but Mr. Iguana was trying to stick his iguana on Liv. So that's why I'm saying that the whole mixed tag team championship thing, that's not um that's not out of the cards yet. We still had a Mr. Iguana Dom Liv interaction. It was really brief, but it was there. And Dom did interact with Mr. Iguana. So we did all that to set up for the fifth match at Money in the Bank. We were all wondering why we were only getting 4 matches. Well, there you go. The fifth match was added to the card, and Dom now has more title defenses than Jacob Fatu, EO, and the rest. And I'm going to get into that later because I have a whole little rant about that regarding some people. Um, and then we had the rest of the card. The card was good. I'm just going to go over what I really noticed with the rest of the card. We had Lola and Steph versus the AAA women. It was a good match for the Luchadores. We had a doubles kiss between Lola and Stephanie. So your Gooners, you can go back and watch that. So that was a good match. And then we had Legato. Well, I'm glad Legato actually got a win here. So I'm not sure what they're going to do on the main roster, but at least they finally were getting a win there with Legato. And then Ethan Page, I cannot stand Ethan Page, and this is not even like in a I hate you guts type heel way. I just can't stand him. I just don't like him. I don't like him. And I was really hoping that Javon Evans would get the title because I was hoping he would just be a transitional champ. Like, give it to Javon Evans. I think Javon Evans has more than proven himself to be that guy, and I think he needs it at this point. And I'm really tired of Ethan Page just being in there. Like, send him to the main roster already. I don't think what else. He's already been like the NXT champion, and now he's North American champion. Like, he's already done enough. Like, send him to the main roster. At least with Oba Femi, like Oba Femi is establishing himself and having a really good run. But with Ethan Page, I think he just needs to go to the main roster, do something else. Like I can't. He's like it's like he's in a kiddie pool. I think, and I think that's my annoyance with Ethan Page. Because look how quickly like Ricky Staines now is looking like he's going to be out of there. Like he should have been like Ricky Staines and just been out. Like stick around for a while, then go to the main roster. But yeah, I just can't. I can't tolerate Ethan Page at all. And then we have Vikingo, El Hijo de Vikingo, versus Chad Gable. This match was insane. I could not believe that Chad did all these bumps and all these moves on this match, knowing that he would be allegedly be El Grande Americano for the Money in the Bank later on in the night. Like that just blew my mind. Like this dude was taking Mexican destroyers, table bumps, just all kinds of shit in this match. Like Kingo wins, like as he should, and but Chad Gable really showed out, and I'm really hoping Chad really can get over the hump and just been able to be taken seriously or his booking be taken seriously because that man showed out. And like I said, um I can't believe he took all those bumps, knowing what he had to do later on in the night, allegedly. So that was Worlds Collide. Like I said, go watch that event. It's on YouTube. Go check it out. Now, Money in the Bank. I'm gonna talk about the Dom stuff, and then I'm gonna loop back around to the women's Money in the Bank thing because I do want to talk about Naomi, my girl, winning. First the walk-ins. We did see I did see Dom and Liv walking in on Instagram, which is really cool. And then we were treated to them and just them in like this like room or something like that. Like Liv had her leg over Dom's leg, and Dom, and they're just sitting there chatting. We don't hear what they're talking about, but it was just really nice to see them on their own. Now, don't take what I'm saying like them on their own, like saying like, hey, Raquel needs to go away, yada yada yada, because people always want to say that Raquel prevented all this. No, Raquel did not prevent any of this. This was straight up booking. If Triple H wanted them by themselves like this, Triple H would have did it, and he didn't. Now we're finally getting it. So I'm hoping some people stop bitching right now because I know we're gonna get it on Monday. But it's just, but like I said, it's really nice to see them on WWE TV on their own because they just have a different vibe. They have a vibe like their vibe with Judgment Day is completely different than what they are by themselves. That's why I'm saying tonight was the start of a Bonnie and Clyde era for them because their vibe was just different. It was just powerful and it was just clicking. Like everything was clicking with this. Um, Dom versus Octagon Jr. We finally get a solo Liv and Dom entrance. We get Dom and have a black luchador mask. I think that's still a tribute to Rey Mysterio, not Rey Mysterio Jr., which is Dom's dad or stepdad. But it's I think it's his uncle, the original Rey Mysterio. I think that's like his uncle's style mask, and so he's wearing that. He's wearing his garita vest, and he is wearing black gear with gold bones and lettering. And that whole look was just sick. It's like a completely different look. It wasn't like the colors of the purple and the white and the black and all that. That whole presentation with Dom with his gear and his mask, like how he just wears the mask out and then he rips it off and then just tosses it to the side. Like that's a whole that's a certain archetype in lucha libre wrestling too. I need to look up and find out what exactly that is, what Dom is doing there. But it was just a whole complete package. Dom presented himself so differently. And then you got Liv there as the girlfriend, the supportive girlfriend that will support him in everything that he does. She was looking great. She went back to her original look when Dom and Liv finally hooked up at SummerSlam. Y'all remember how she had like a look of like the shirt going off the back, like off her butt? And then she has like the brief short shorts look. Like she went back to that look, and I really like how that's like a little bit of a tribute to how Dom wears the shirts around his waist, but it's like her version of doing that. So she was wearing the Latino cheat um shirt, which is Dom's shirt. And she was having the shirt in the back, and I loved it. She was looking great. She looked hot. Boots, briefs, shirt, look, everything was looking good. They just walked in with all the swagger. Um, they're still holding the ropes for each other. Like I said, this is like a callback to last year. Um, and then we did miss the uppies because for whatever reason the camera was not in position, and I will forever hate them for missing that. So I had to look for photos or something or videos on the X or on the line or something like that. But we did get that. But yeah, it was just like a whole totally different Dom. Like Dom was different, Liv was different. Like Liv, still has some similarities to like her current like presentation, but it was just different. Dom was on the turnbuckle, showing off his belt, throws his vest at I think it was Pat McAfee. And then we get Octagon Jr. and I do like his presentation here, and then we get the match. It's a little short and sweet match. Dom did good. Octagon Jr. was able to show out and show what he can do. Um, but we do get Dom being on the offensive. Like he was not cowering. He wasn't doing the beg. You know how you do like he would do like a beg thing where he's begging off. I didn't really see that during the match. Um, he won with an assist from Liv, but 99% of that match was Dom. Liv didn't get involved until the very last second. It was just great. Now, I have a bone to pick with commentary again. Because here they come again saying that Dom is being big headed. Okay, so if Dom is being big headed, here we go with the narrative thing. This is why I say that don't be so sure that Dom is going to be face, even though he's getting the face type reactions from the crowd. Because they're saying like Dom's being big headed, he wasn't out here, where's Judgment Day, yada 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 from Cole. And I'm like, okay, Cole, um, where is Judgment Day now? Like if you're gonna be calling out judge like Dom for not being out there, even though that has not been afforded to him during the whole 2 years he was in Judgment Day. So why aren't you calling out Finn? You see what I mean? Like if yeah, you could say that. See, this is where you have to listen to Michael Cole's words because this is we would be the perfect opportunity if he wanted to talk this up by saying like um due to this impromptu match, Finn couldn't get out here to be out here, or JD couldn't get out here to be out here. See how that covers that absence? But here, you got Dom being saying like he's big headed. And this is why I think they're going to still go with the heel turn with Dom. I don't think they're going to go with the face. If anything, he'll go tweener ish, but it's going to be heavily heel side. So just keep listening to the commentary because post show or the post Money in the Bank show that they were talking up Dom, but that's just typically that they always do that with all the wrestlers on the post show. So I kind of take that with like in one ear out the other. Like they were praising them, but it's not to the point. But you have to listen to um Michael Cole and Pat's commentary. Oh, and can I say that Wade Barrett being on commentary is a breath of fresh air. We need that heel commentator on Raw. I think if we had Wade Barrett on Raw when Cole and Pat start talking about Dom, we would at least get a little bit more context on what they were trying to do. But since it's just Cole and Pat just yucking it up, we don't have that context. Oh, Kendall, you're right. Yes, and then at the end of the match, Dom had the coldest stare. Like, I think that's Crash Out Dom. That was a stare that could burn into your soul, and he did not snap out of it until Liv came up and gave him, a hug and a kiss with his title. So Dom was just cold blooded there. And like I said, it's just so welcome. It's so welcoming, and it's such a breath of fresh air to get this presentation. And then during the match also we do see the other luchadors at ringside. So we saw Vikingo, we saw Aerial Star. No, it wasn't Aerial Star. We saw, I think that's El Hijo de Dr. Wagner. I think that was him. And then we had Mr. Iguana. But we had them out there, and Don was jawing with them. So what me and a few mutuals have been thinking is that this could start like a lucha killer type thing with Dom. Like if you're gonna have this AAA deal, or since WWE has acquired AAA, you can have Dom just be like a lucha killer. He just starts going after all these luchadors. He can go after Mr. Iguana. He can go after Dr. Wagner. He can go after Aerial Star. Any of these AAA wrestlers, you can do that. And I have the added bit, like, I'm not sure if they want to do something like this, but you can have Dom be like a mask collector where he just like starts collecting his opponent's mask after he wins. So you could do something like that. Like, not all the luchadors in AAA have masks, but you can do it where he like maybe steals the mask and they're not exposed because you can't do a mat. You can't just take the mask and see their faces in Lucha Libre, but you could do like a hidden mask thing where it's like Dom still kind of disrespecting some lucha traditions, the but the people aren't getting unmasked per se, like in a specialty mask where they could lose the mask and then they get revealed and they have to retire and things like that. So you could do something like that. I'm not sure if they can go for it, but that's also a possibility. But it's looking like now that Dom is just going to probably start targeting some people in AAA, and that's good. That bolsters his um, Intercontinental reign. He gets a lot of. He's working with other people still, and you're still getting matches. Now, can people stop bitching about Dom not having title defenses in wrestling? Here we go. Money in the Bank. He has another title defense. Who has not had another title defense? Jacob Fatu. Who hasn't defended this until from WrestleMania? Io Sky. The only person that's been having title matches has been Lyra Valkyria, and she just lost it tonight, which I don't agree with. But now can people stop bitching about Dom's title runs? He's fine. His title run is fine. Just because he was backstage, you can have quibbles about Dom not having an in-ring promo and he's been stuck backstage all this time. You can have issues with that, but you can't say that his title reign has been shitty because all like I keep saying, like all the other champions haven't had good runs or title defenses. Like he has now one more title defense than Jacob Fatu. So Kendall says people still say Dom has no character development. Like I saw a lot of character development in like one night compared to Rhea. Rhea's been doing the exact same shit. And I gotta really be careful about saying Rhea's name because people get all hurt. But you know what? Fuck it. I'm getting tired of not being able to say anything like remotely critical about Rhea on the X without her fan base just getting all up in arms. So fuck that. I'm really tired of it. You know, you can be critical about people being a commentator. You know, you don't have to agree with everything. But it just seems like every time you say something critical, here comes the fans. Like I don't see that with Dom fans. I don't see that with Jacob Fatu fans. I don't see that with Roman Reigns fans. It's like it's just with Rhea, and I'm really sick to death of it with her. So we just saw a really different character with Dom and Liv. And like I said, I think this is the start of the Bonnie and Clyde era. I really do. Like, this is going to be them against the world. They can split off from Judgment Day. Um, I'm not even thinking they're just going to kick. I don't even think they're going to get kicked out of Judgment Day. I think they're going to bounce on their own. They're going to leave Mount Judgment Day probably after they win these mixed tag team titles. They're going to bounce, and then Judgment Day is just going to crumble because they just lost two important people. And Finn, sad to say, does not have that same kind of connection. Not even Roxanne either. So they could just bounce. The only other way you could do it is just have Dom be the same character in Judgment Day and bounce Finn finally. And then we go from there. But I will say this. At the clubhouse on Monday, we need to see the same Dom and Liv in the clubhouse. We do not need to see an apologetic Dom or anything like that. We need to see this version of Dom and Liv in the clubhouse. Like I need Dom to be walking into the clubhouse with all the swagger because he had his successful championship retained. He was retained, you know, he retained his championship. I want him to be sarcastic to Finn because Finn shouldn't be able to say shit because even though Finn won last week, um, Dom still had the major victory. And then Roxanne lost, so she can't say nothing because she's in the same boat with Liv and Raquel. So I need Dom to come in there with all that swagger, put put Finn on notice, put Finn on place, do something, and go on from there. Now, if you want to spin up something with AJ, spin up something with Paul Heyman, spin up something with Mr. Iguana and all them, fine. But Dom needs the swagger going into the clubhouse on Monday. And like I said, Dom is showing a really confident side of things with it. And like I said, I can't be more proud of Dom. Like this is just something that I've been wanting, and I finally got it, and I'm really happy about it. We just need to see it continue on this coming up Monday. And so Money in the Bank women's. I'm not going to talk about the men's because fuck the men's. Um, Seth really did not. I'll talk about men's a little briefly. Seth didn't really need to win that. Like, I'm pretty sure he could have just got the match. He's kind of like what Rhea is. Like, you could have just gotten a win on your own. Like, you don't need Money in the Bank. That could have went to somebody else. Like, I don't know why Seth needed that. The only thing that was good coming out of Money in the Bank men's was Jacob saying "I hate you, Solo" and getting rid of Solo. So kicking that off. So other than that, it's just like it was just so underwhelming for Seth to win. But Money in the Bank women, can I just say that having Julia come out before Rhea to make Rhea's pop look bigger is doing Julia filthy? Like, what was the point of that? You got Alexa come out, and then we have how was the order? Alexa comes out, then Roxanne, then Naomi, and I think it was Stephanie, and then Julia, and then Rhea. And they just treated Julia filthy in that little moment there. She's not getting the pops, and that's really bad because I think they really mishandled her call up to the main roster because she didn't get a lot of pops on SmackDown either on Friday yesterday. She can attack Zelina, and people are saying, well, she could go and get that title. But yeah, if she can't get the pops, we're going to be in the exact same situation where it's just the title won't do anything for Julia. So she needed to be able to show out a little bit more. I have a friend that said that she just needs to be more of a single started tag, and they're probably right about that. But I think they're treating her filthy currently with her presentation, at least to on a main roster. And then we had the Money in the Bank match. I told y'all that the women's Money in the Bank match wouldn't be as good because they don't have enough veterans in there to do the spots and control the flow. Naomi was the only veteran in there that could do that. Alexa is too, but all Alexa typically does is just lay on the outside of the ring. And guess what happened on the who was laying on the outside of the ring? Rhea. And I am sick to death of Rhea having to just being able to lay on the outside of the ring. First they piled the ladders on her and then she got knocked out again. Like she was knocked out twice. So everybody else is busting ass, even Alexa this time, um, in the match, and then here's Rhea laying on the outside. She did the same thing yesterday for SmackDown, where she just does like the last like 10% of the match. I'm tired of it. Like, is she that fragile that she can't work an entire match? Like she couldn't work an entire match for yesterday on SmackDown when everybody who's gonna be in the Money in the Bank was in the match, that tag match. Like how is it that Roxanne, Julia, Stephanie, who worked double tonight, and Naomi, they could be doing all that yesterday, but Rhea, she spends the most time outside the ring. Like, I would expect Stephanie to be spending a lot of time on the outside of the ring just because she worked Worlds Collide earlier in the day. So why is Rhea getting to a point where she's not working these entire matches? At least now it's getting noticed with some people online. People are just saying like, why would she just be out there just working 10% of the match? Did she have a good few bumps? Yeah. And she does sell? Yeah. But I need her to be working the match. If you're going to be saying that you want titles, and that was another bad thing too from yesterday. I didn't come on last night because I thought Liv might be doing something. I would have came on if Liv was on there, but she wasn't. But one bad thing that I did not like from yesterday on SmackDown is that Rhea was the only one that was afforded promo time out of the whole women's Money in the Bank thing. Everybody else from the men got some time. We had LA Knight, Penta, Andrade, Gable, Seth Rollins. They all had some promo time last night on SmackDown. What did we get with the women yesterday? Nothing but Rhea. And I'm like, you couldn't throw Alexa, Naomi, and Roxanne out there to do a little bit of a promo? Yeah, Stephanie and Julia have limited English skills, but they allowed Penta and Andrade to speak Spanish. And then you had Andrade talking more English to Chad because Andrade can speak English a little bit more. So why is it that you could do that, afford this opportunity for the men to have the promo time, but not for the women? And then here we come tonight with Rhea, where she just lays outside the ring because she got buried under all the ladders. So she could bust out and then get attacked again and be laid out again during the match. I don't like it when they do that in matches. Like, I can see you laying out if you get a big get hit with a big spot, but I don't need to see people just laid out for like 75% of the match and then you can come back and potentially win it. I am not a fan of that. But it's all moot because our girl Naomi, my ride or die, she got up there and won it. I was so happy for her to see that. She deserves it. Her character deserves it. She's been busting her ass with this character. Um, she got the "You Deserve It" chance during the post show, and then she told the crowd to shut up. Like, she's still committed to the character. I like how she acknowledged Big E with when he was talking her up. Like, she was like, Biggie, you've been with me since the beginning. So that actually makes sense for her character. Like, Biggie's a character, a wrestler that's been with her since the beginning and hasn't turned on her like a Jade or something like that. Like, she appreciated that. So yeah, Naomi won it. I'm over the moon for her, and now we get to see her potentially cash in on possibly Tiffany, Jade, whoever gets this SmackDown title, because I don't think she'll go for Raw. Um, but yeah, she said she's putting all the women's champions on notice, so maybe she will go up to Becky because Becky was trying to talk shit during the interview process. And why is it that Dom cannot get an interview during these post shows? Like, give me an interview, man. Like, where he has to go up to the mic and podium and stuff like that. We have yet to get him on an interview, and I am really pissed off about that. But that is Money in the Bank. That was Worlds Collide. Uh, just to wrap things up, I'm still over the moon that Naomi won. I'm now a fan of Mr. Iguana. We were fed the Bonnie and Clyde versions of Dom and Liv, and I think they are here to stay. The Clubhouse will be interesting on Monday since Roxanne lost. And like I keep saying, if you keep listening to Finn, you're gonna lose. So Roxanne lost. Like, you can't be gloating now. It's gonna be really interesting on in the Clubhouse on Monday because you can't gloat. Finn can kind of gloat because he won on Monday. But excuse me. But now Roxanne lost, so she's in the same boat with Liv and Raquel. And Dom had a successful championship defense. So it's just going to be really interesting. And oh yeah, Dom and Liv can still challenge for the mixed tag team title since Mr. Iguana was present for the title match, so he was still out there. Um, like I said, I think they couldn't do much with the mixed tag right now because La Hedra um has a restraining order against her by Stephanie, so you can't do that right now. I would not be surprised if they do something like on Monday, like something pre-recorded or something like that, where you get the challenge or something like that, where it's away from Stephanie, and then they can and then when they do Triple Mania, which is where I expect it to happen, you can have Dom and Liv down there in AAA, and then Stephanie doesn't have to show up down there. That's what I'm expecting. And um, um like I said, a mutual mind is stating this could be like a lucha killer gimmick for Dominik, and I would love that. Like, he's just start targeting all the luchas, like target luchas in AAA. Then he can probably go after some people in WWE, like Dragon Lee, Ray, Phoenix, things like that. Post show talked up Dom, but also called him a troll too. Because they said that was like his motivations, like he's stoking the fire, but they really talked him up on the post show. So that's that. Let me check the X. But yeah, it's just like I said, it's just refreshing to have Dom and Liv be in Bonnie and Clyde personas. And my boy Hope and Sandy says Dom hasn't lost a single PLE since Cody 2 years ago. Nobody's doing it like him. That's a crazy stat. I don't think that Dom is gonna be face. It's gonna be tweener at the max. At the max. At the max. Sorry. And Triple H says, y'all enjoying the show. It's all a part of the plan regarding R-Truth's return. No, it's not. Y'all let his contract expired. Y'all saw the backlash with R-Truth, and you brought him back. Quit trying to work the crowd by saying that this is a part of the show. Bull fucking shit. Y'all saw the backlash with Truth, and you knew that the crowd was probably going to keep hijacking the show until you did something, and that's what you did. That's just complete bullshit from Triple H. Trying to control the narrative. Like, we know what you did. And then of course Triple H is gonna bask in it like, he's still triple fraud. So I don't trust him. Yeah, Triple H is full of shit. Liz fit at World Collide was amazing too. It says nobody got work. The company saw the reactions to R2's contract being reduced, so they just made that a part of the storyline and called him back. Yep. Logan Paul busted his ass at a buckshot lariat, but Jey Uso saved him. This is why Logan Paul should be wrestling. He needed some more time to practice, I guess. And then if this was part of the show, when is Carlito coming back? Think about it. Okay, if this is all part of the show, when is Carlito coming back? And he was a part of the Judgment Day storyline. So when is Carlito coming back? So, if this is all a part of the plan, I better see Carlito on Monday. Okay? Because other than Dijak, if y'all remember Dijak from the NXT, I love that guy. I was really hoping he would be like Dom's probationary officer or bounty hunter or something like that. Even he was saying like, I get, he was wishing R-Truth well because he got released, and then he had to kind of retract and say, well, fuck me then. That leads me to believe that R-Truth was really released. So, it's just Triple H trying to cover himself, the jerk. And then Cassie Kelly, even though I can't stand her, was emotional with R-Truth's return. Like I said, I think the Liv Dom era is upon us. I think we're going to get something really interesting on Monday. Hopefully we do. Hopefully we get AJ's things, Paul Heyman things, mixed tag teams on Monday. Like, we need a lot more stuff. But I do think with this Money in the Bank and World Collide that we have some significant character change and growth and storyline change direction. Because I don't think they would be doing this if there wasn't like a storyline in place for Dom and Liv like this. And like they could be running it like a test, but I think we saw like in his storyline. I think we saw a storyline advancement here. It doesn't look like it now, but I think we got a storyline advancement because now when everybody comes back to the clubhouse on Monday, people will be in different positions, and Don will just still be way up here at the top because he had a successful title defense. But that should be it. Let's answer some questions, shall we? Thank y'all all for the likes. Y'all, like I said, y'all keep helping me hit some milestones, and I have been hitting some milestones outside of this, and I really do appreciate y'all. Thank y'all for the likes and just sticking with me throughout this because y'all make it more interesting. Y'all make it fun for me to be here. So, yeah, I appreciate y'all all. And Shinji says, "What happened, Roxanne? You see when you listen to Finn." Exactly. Like I expect Roxanne to be um really unhappy on Monday. He says, when is Dom turning off Finn because Solo got turned on? Yeah, see, some people were saying like, how did that Solo gets turned on Jacob before Finn does? And that's perfectly valid. Maybe we get that on Monday. Maybe Dom just is like, hey, F this, you're out. We know what you're doing. Because, see, that's the thing with this whole Finn storyline right now, is that Finn has pretty much showed his hand so blatantly. Like, it's so blatant to the point where the commentary was saying this. Last year, they weren't calling out certain things until, like, it was very obvious. Here now with Finn, they've just been saying, like, Finn's been sowing seeds as it's set in Judgment Day. So maybe it comes around on Monday that Dom's just like says like, hey, enough. I know what you're doing. You're out. And then he turns to like Roxanne and says, if you still want to prove yourself to be here, you still gotta do, you gotta prove that you want to be here and roll from there. Like, write them out. Like write him out until like SummerSlam or something like that, or around SummerSlam. Yeah, maybe they can do something like that. Like maybe Dom just comes into the clubhouse, see what's going on, calls Finn out, gets rid of him, and we just go on from there. Like I said. Um, Jacob says, "How will Finn react to this situation?" Like I'm like with Finn, I don't think he can cover up anything anymore. Like you can't pretend to be happy for Dom and then try to be try to be slick with like an insult, because if they maintain the character now that Dom has, where he just levels up, doesn't take bullshit, then Dom shouldn't be taking like backhanded insults. He should be calling Finn out. So I'm wondering if that's what's going to happen on Monday. Maybe we will get that accelerated growth where, like I said, Finn just gets kicked out, and then you can keep Finn somewhere, and then Dom can still keep doing like his feuds with like AJ and the luchadors from AAA until Finn comes back. Because right now, I think it's going to take a lot for Finn to get any kind of reaction, heel or face. And I still think he has a better shot with being a face. Right now, it's like he's just being like a cartoonish evil guy. And that don't really work with the WWE. Like Solo has been silly, but he still was having enough. He still did enough to be an effective heel. Like you could be silly as a heel, but he was still doing enough stuff to maintain his heel character and the heel aura.